Let's return to Scotland because 2 people have now died as Storm Baret wreaks havoc. The Met Office has issued another red weather warning for tomorrow in Scotland, and this will cover the whole day.
Well, some 27,000 homes without power is the latest estimate we're getting from Southern Scottish Power. In particular, the town of Brechin had to have many areas evacuated with the storm defences breached in the early hours of the morning. Many parts of Scotland now are being told only accessible by boat. Our reporter Tony Maguire is still there for us. And Tony, as well as Brechin, we're being told Dundee with problems as well further down the river.
Yes, that's correct, Mark. Certainly this Storm Baret, well, we've been here in Brechin over the last couple of days. Storm Baret rages on around the country, and in fact SEPA, the Scottish Environmental Protection Agency, they've issued 12 regional flood alerts, 16 localised flood warnings, and there's 5 severe flood warnings, and of course that highly important risk to life. None more present a fact than here, where 2 people have died in the vicinity of Angus over the last 24 hours. One man, unfortunately, was in his van when it was struck by a falling tree, and another woman was pulled from the river just upstream from where we are now. The floodwaters remain exceedingly high here. In fact, it's so much so that the power of the water has broken the wall behind me just over to my right shoulder, which allowed many hundreds of litres to flood even further into the street. Now, the waters have begun receding here on River Street, but it's unfortunately still going to be damaging to the houses for some time to come. While we've seen the water recede through the gap left in the wall, many houses still almost completely submerged along the road behind me. Now, the Met Office has they've issued another red weather warning for this part, and this time slightly more inland for the entirety of Saturday, as more rains are predicted. It's also worth saying that, upstream and upriver from where we are just now, as the water falls in the hills, much of that rainwater could take as much as 24 hours to make its way down to Brechin and then over to the coast. We've seen some spectacular sights as well over the last 24 hours. Up in Aberdeenshire, there was a huge amount of sea foam came ashore and filled the streets, and some people wading waist high through sea foam, which is again unprecedented really. Now, we just spoke to the owner of the pub over my right shoulder, the Bridge Arms, and he said that while Brechin has flooded on several occasions, that even for him, he was surprised to come downstairs in the middle of the morning at 4:30 when the water had come right up. In all the 20 years that he's owned the pub, he said he's not once flooded, which shows you again just how unprecedented this is. Now, all across the region, there are these rest centres where locals are able to go, but the reality is that there's less than 100 in them just now, according to Angus Council, which means that many people are either stayed in place, like Scott, the owner of the pub, or indeed they've left the region altogether to go and stay with friends and family in higher ground. But as you say, even down in Dundee, there's property damage. Edinburgh has cancelled quite a lot of trains up north. And even on the Forth Road Bridge and the Queensferry Crossing, traffic is restricted as we still continue to feel the effects.
Tony, thanks very much for bringing us the latest there from Brechin. We are going to stay in Brechin and talk to Jill Scott, a Brechin councillor. Jill, I think, if I'm right, you are at an evacuation centre this afternoon as you talk to us. But let's just pick up on something that our reporter Tony Maguire said, that it's not very busy, and the concern is that people aren't leaving their homes as they're advised to do for their own safety.
I think I can't say that it's not very busy. I mean, it seems busy here. There is quite a lot of people here that have been evacuated. Many people have gone to stay with family and friends as well, and of course there is some that have just decided to stay and don't want to leave their home.
How would you describe the situation? Have you ever seen anything like this? We keep hearing the word unprecedented being used.
I've never seen anything like this ever. I mean, we've seen floods before the flood prevention wall. We had railings there, and floods were a regular occurrence, but nothing to this scale. Absolutely, nobody could have been prepared for what we witnessed at 4 o'clock this morning when the river came over the wall. Just absolutely horrendous.
Is your home okay, Jill?
Yeah, I'm up the hill, so yeah, I've been fine. I've been kind of watching SEPA all night, so I haven't had much sleep. But yeah, no, I've not been disturbed by flooding, thankfully.
Now, Angus Council having to cope with the brunt of this as we speak to you. I gather emergency crews still actually trying to reach people, and effectively, boats now the only form of transport for large parts of the area.
Yeah, so I believe. I haven't been down because obviously the road's been closed, so I've not been able to go down. So made my way up to the rest centre to help. But yeah, I believe there's still quite a lot of water and quite a lot of properties are still underwater. So, and of course the red warning's been extended. So we don't know what that's going to look like. It's just really, really worrying, isn't it? And worrying for the residents.
Yeah, it's not just what's happening at the moment, it's the aftermath and when people can get back into their homes in terms of having to clean up all the damage as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, we don't know the extent of the damage, and that's the thing here. People are really concerned because they don't know what the inside of their house looks like. Could be filled with mud and silt and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But given that there's been 2 people have lost their lives, and my condolences go out to their family and friends. I think people are feeling very grateful to be here and warm and safe.
Yeah, and what help are you giving to people in the rest centres?
So it's being manned by the Angus Health and Social Care Partnership. So there's carers on hand, there's medical, there's lots of things. They're all getting fed. They're saying that they've been exceptionally well looked after. But nothing can beat your own bed, can it? So it's always difficult to be out of your own house.
Yeah. Jill Scott, Brechin Councillor, thank you for the work you are doing, and we do wish you all the very best because it looks a very, very difficult situation from the pictures that we're seeing.